idea I had today, reading a little excerpt from a book. But this will be something to bore you totally to death. It's from this. Here it is. A series of letters to a squirrel. Dear squirrel, you're not that cute. Sincerely, Michael in Black. Dear squirrel, hi, it's me again. You're not that cute guy. I feel like I owe you an explanation for that letter I wrote you before. You probably felt a little blindsided by it. So I thought I would take a moment to explain what prompted it in the first place. This morning, I was looking outside my window when I saw you standing on your back legs, nibbling away at the nut you were turning around and around in your two little hands. Turn, 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 nibble, nibble, nibble. I thought to myself, I bet that squirrel thinks he's so cute. Unwelcome feelings of resentment and jealousy bubbled up inside me. Before I knew it, I was enraged. I questioned self. Who was I really angry at? You or me? I obviously let my anger get the best of me, and before I knew what I was doing, I hastily wrote that letter and left it at the base of your tree, never considering how potentially hurtful it might be. Now that I've calmed down, I feel like a real schmuck, so I decided to sit down and attempt to explain my actions, hence this letter of apology. So I'm sorry. I hope you can forgive me, and just know that in the future I will attempt to do better job controlling my anger rather than letting my anger control me. Per my therapist's suggestion. Sincerely, Michael in Black. Dear Squirrel, sorry to bother you again, but I feel the need to clarify something. In my last letter, I explained why I wrote you in the first place, and in doing so, I think I may have mistakenly left you with the impression that I, in fact, do think you are that cute. I do not. Nothing could be further from the truth. I do not think you're that cute. I do not think you're that cute at all. My original error was in writing to you to begin with, not in my opinion of your cuteness, or lack thereof. My second letter was simply to attempt to explain why I wrote the first letter and to apologize for writing it, without thinking my actions through it. Then, as I said in the third letter, is to clarify any potential misunderstandings about whether or not I think you're cute. Again, I do not. In fact, I think you look cheap. Sincerely, Michael in Black. Dear Squirrel, now I've gone overboard and if my original letter caught you off guard, I can only imagine how the last letter hit you probably like a ton of bricks. Although, because you're a squirrel, I should probably adjust the expression to something like, it hit you like a single brick. Because the impact of a single brick hitting you would be rough equivalent of a ton of bricks hitting me. Once again, by saying you look cheap, I acted rashly and said something I didn't really mean. After all, how can a squirrel look cheap anyway? Haha. I don't know if you squirrels understand Yiddish, but now I not only feel like a schmuck, but I also feel like a putz. Boy, bye. Sincerely, Michael in Black. P.S. I'm leaving a copy of Michael Chabon's wonderful novel, The Yiddish Policeman's Union, as a small token of my consternation. Another suggestion from my therapist. Enjoy. Dear Squirrel, in my previous letter to you, I asked a rhetorical question. How can a squirrel look cheap? Well, I thought about it and I came up with an answer. If the squirrel's wearing too much makeup. Admittedly, most squirrels don't wear any makeup. But it seems to me that if a squirrel did, depending on the amount, it could potentially make the squirrel look cheap. Clearly, you do not wear makeup, and I probably should have not said you look cheap, even though you do, in fact, look like a whore. Sincerely, not Glee. Dear Squirrel, by now you're no doubt sick to death of receiving these letters, and I promise this will be the last. The truth is, I feel bad about calling you a whore. I don't know anything about your personal life. My judgment was based on nothing more than a general whore's vibe. You look like you'd screw any squirrel that came your way. You look like you'd even screw the knothole in that tree where you live. But this is all speculation on my part, based on nothing more than your aforementioned whorish vibe and your sleazy demeanor. Maybe I'm wrong about you, if so, I apologize. But I really don't think I am. Sincerely, my friend. P.S. You're not that cute. P.P.S. I noticed that you haven't even opened that book I gave you. Fuck my therapist. Fuck you.